Today the talk is about training your mind to see opportunities, and it's you don't see with your eyes, you see with your mind, right? And most people walk past opportunities every day, not because they're not there, but because their minds aren't trained to notice them. So your mind filters out 99% of reality. I'll let that sink in for a second. Your mind filters out 99% of reality. You only see what you're trained to see. And that's why when you buy a red car, suddenly every car you see on the road is red, right? How many people have noticed that? I just noticed that when I helped my ex-wife, Kelly, buy a blue BMW. I was like, wow, I've never seen this color before. And guess what? I see that color all the time now. It's funny. It's not even my car. But that's why two people can look at the same situation. One sees a threat, one sees an advantage. It's all about how you see things, right? That's why wealthy, creative, resilient people don't have more opportunities. They have different filters. So we have to adjust our filters. So today is about training your mind to become an opportunity machine, not luck, not talent, training. How we train our minds to do this. So there's an invisible system running your life. It's called the reticular activating system, RAS. Your RAS controls what you notice, like a bouncer at a nightclub. It only lets in what matches your beliefs, your fears, or expectations. If you think opportunities are rare, your brain hides them. If you think money is scarce, your brain hides ways to create it. If your story is life is hard, you filter for struggle. Your brain isn't loyal to your dreams, it's loyal to your patterns. But there's good news. You can reprogram those patterns. And here's why most people can't see opportunity. This is my opinion. Is one, it's mindset. Scarcity mindset equals blindness. Scarcity narrows your vision. I have a friend who has tunnel vision. It's kind of like that. It makes it tunnel vision. Your brain prepares to survive, not expand. Fear, stress, rushing, insecurity, these choke off creativity. Scarcity mindset equals blindness. The number one reason people can't see opportunity. Trauma and past identity. Like whatever your identity is. I just did a solo podcast on changing your identity for 2026. Like who were you in 2025 and who are you going to be in 2026? But trauma and past identity, old wounds can make you blind to new doors. Life hits you, you brace, your mind goes defensive, but opportunities don't live in defense. They live in curiosity. And those biases, or I'm sorry, those traumas can blind you. Okay, so are you getting the kind of the theme here? Scarcity blinds you, trauma, past identity blinds you. But the biases that steal your future are being loss averse. You fear losing $100 more than you value gaining 1,000. Negativity bias. Your brain prefers bad news over opportunity. I mean, if you don't understand this, look at what they put on the news. They don't put good news on the news. They put bad news. That's what sells. And then status quo bias. You cling to familiar misery instead of unfamiliar possibility. People do this their whole lives, even people that break away. Most people don't break away until their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond because they cling to familiar. People that are in bad marriages cling to familiar. I mean, there's even that saying, the devil you know is better than the one you don't. Really? Okay. All right. So the last thing that is, this has been on the subject of our devotional in the mornings, is the enemy of opportunity is busyness. People complain about lack of opportunity, but they're too busy to notice it. Have you ever felt like that? I know I have. Opportunity often knocks softly and it hates noise. I mean, it's honestly, excuse me, all the noise out there is there to distract you from what's really happening. Okay. So the truth about opportunity is most people never hear it. I'm going to tell you the truth about opportunity, and most people never hear this. Opportunity is almost always disguised as an inconvenience, as chaos, as uncertainty, as not the right time. as extra work. Every major breakthrough started as a problem. Opportunity is a shy creature. It rarely announces itself. You got to go find opportunity. And opportunity rarely, number two is opportunity rarely feels comfortable. If it feels comfortable, it's probably already saturated. I mean, think about that. I mean, you see something, you're like, oh, that's a good idea. If somebody's already 5 steps ahead of you on bringing that opportunity to reality. Discomfort equals growth edge equals opportunity. And number 3 is opportunities live in perspective, not circumstance. 2 people see the same storm, right? One says, this storm will destroy everything. And the other one says, this will clean the path. I mean, it's your perspective, same storm, different lens. What lens are you looking at opportunities from? All right, so let's think of some stories out there in history that are seeing the right opportunities, right? Nelson Nash, seeing a banking system in a crisis. Interest rates were over 20%. Everyone saw disaster. He saw ownership, control. His breakthrough wasn't luck, it was divine, but he was trained by God. It was trained perspective. He knew how interest worked. He just didn't realize that he could get all of this money at a low interest loan, and the insurance company had to give him the loan. But once he understood that, he understood what to do with it, right? Rockefeller, when the economy panicked, he leaned in. And a quote is, I always tried to turn every disaster into an opportunity. That is a trait that will make you the richest man in the world, right? And history rewards the one who sees clearly while everyone else is panicking. Even go to Kiyosaki's 2 dads, right? Which, by the way, is a made-up story. Poor dad saw stability. Rich dad saw structure, leverage, ownership. Same island, Hawaii, different eyes, right? And one was educated, one was not, right? In the story. All right, how about real estate? Here's another example, right? Is most people see an abandoned building. Opportunity vision sees cash flow, tax efficiency, asset repositioning, a way to solve a problem someone else is ignoring. Opportunity hides inside of problems. All right, how about infinite banking? People stare right at their biggest opportunity, owning their banking system, and they can't see it because they want to see rate of return. They want to talk about the insurance policy. They want to talk about all these things that really don't matter as much as controlling the banking function. And the reason they do this is their minds were trained by Wall Street, the banks, and the government, not by reality. And if you can't get past that, the government, Wall Street, and banks are eroding your wealth. If you don't believe that, if you believe the government is only out for your benefit and the banks are really friendly and they're there to help you, and you believe that Wall Street is the only way for you to make money and that everybody on Wall Street wants to help you make money and they're doing it out of the goodness in their heart, if you believe all those things, then it's hard to help you because you have to break away from the herd, right? Nelson used to say the majority's never been right about anything, and he's right. Okay, so how do you train your mind to see opportunities? This is where this becomes transformational. If you take these things and you start to do them, it will transform how you see opportunities. But daily opportunity reps. Every night, write down 3 opportunities you noticed today. Anything counts. You're not recording opportunities, you're training your brain to look for them, right? It's like gratitude. If you write down 3 things that you're grateful for every day, you're not, recording the things that you're grateful for. You're training your brain to feel gratitude and your heart to feel gratitude. Okay, so number 1 is daily opportunity reps. What opportunities did I notice today? And you're training your brain to look for those things. Then the opportunity reframe. At any time something feels like a problem, where's the hidden advantage here? This one question rewires your brain. Where's the hidden advantage? Every problem, ask yourself that. All right. So then pattern recognition training. Opportunities are patterns, not events. So study deals, people, markets, structures, mistakes. Study it. Your brain becomes a pattern spotter, right? Your brain is designed to find those patterns. And then strategic stillness, back to that busyness thing, right? You can't see clearly when your mind is loud. You have to have a quiet mind. Silence isn't the absence of activity, it's the presence of awareness. And so you have to be silent. I mean, every day I try to take 30 minutes and just sit in the quiet. A lot of times I do it on my massage chair or I do it in my sauna, but I sit, no music, no phone, no business, no anything. Obviously, no TV, and for 30 minutes. But you know what? The funny thing is that if I did it for 20 minutes, I wouldn't think it was very valuable. It's the last 5 minutes, man. It's the last 5 minutes. The last 5 minutes, something funny, weird happens. It's just, try it. Try it for a week. It'll change your life, right? Curiosity as a habit. Curiosity expands your field of vision, right? Because you think what I'm looking at is this, but then, oh, I'm curious about what's over here. And I'm curious about what's over here. And pretty soon you have this wide vision that no one else has. And they think, wow, that's weird. So how do you become curious? Well, what are some questions you ask yourself, I guess? How about why? Why is that way? Study it. Answer the question. What if? What if I could do anything and I couldn't fail? What would I do? Now we're creating some vision. How else could this work? Hey, this thing's vacant. It's not working. This business isn't making any money. Well, how else could it work? And who already solved this problem? And what's the angle here? One of the things I love about Nick Costco is he'll say, listen, I don't know anything about this. I know, like he'll just, and then people tell him. But curiosity turns closed doors into open windows. Okay. Now, the other thing that we talked about last time or back is your environment upgrade. Your environment trains your awareness. People who complain blind you. People who dream sharpen you. People who execute open your eyes. You rise to the level of your environment, not your potential. Who do you have in your environment? Who do you let in? Do not let in people that have a scarcity mindset and that feel like they're slaves and they're going to be slaves the rest of their lives. Do not let those people into your life, into your environment. You can control your environment. You control who is in there. Okay. All right. The next thing is skill stacking. Now, what do I mean by that? Is opportunity loves competence. So then if you stack communication with creativity, with money literacy, with structure, with problem solving, with industry knowledge, because the person with the most tools sees the most angles. It's like if I were looking for an opportunity in real estate and there was some vacant building, or I'm sorry, some vacant land, and I think, well, what am I going to do with that? It's on a railroad track. There's nothing really to do. And then I find out that I start asking questions. Well, that railroad track's never going to be used again. It's actually going to be a bike trail for like 80 miles. Let's see, 80 miles. I have this open space on a bike trail. Well, there's going to need to be restaurants somewhere along this 80 miles. There's going to need to be convenience stores, something to get something to eat, drink, something like that. So the more that I find out, right? What's this zone? How much do they want for it? I'm asking all these questions. Now I'm stacking. I have a knowledge of this bike trail that other people don't have. Then I have a knowledge of, well, in other places that have bike trails like this, what do they have on these trails? Right? So again, I'm looking for opportunity. I'm being curious. So there's also a lot of different types of opportunities that we have to talk about. So I want you to try to recognize each one and think of it in your world. I'm going to tell you how to recognize each one. And then I want you to think about, out of these 7, what other things are out there or what opportunities are out there that fall into these categories for you. It's not going to be all 7, but if you had 4 opportunities out of the 7 or 2 opportunities out of the 7 or 1 really good opportunity out of the 7, it's worth it. So the first one I like to think about is hidden value opportunities. What is that? This is one that every real estate person loves. Undervalued assets, inefficient businesses, overlooked talents, right? I'll give you an example of this. A few years ago, I was going to buy this car wash that was in the parking lot of Costco. And literally, if you were in line getting gas, your car was faced in the same parking lot getting gas. And if you've ever gotten gas at Costco, you know there's a big line. If they just went straight 50 yards, not even 50 yards, 50 feet, they would be in my car wash if I would have bought it, right? Now, I sat there and watched. I was curious. Well, gosh, nobody's pulling into the car wash. Why? Well, it's a full service car wash. It was really nice, right? It's Naples, Florida. People like that, like have their stuff taken care of. But what's one thing you don't want to do when you go to Costco? I don't want to get out of my car. I've got groceries in the back. So what if I had an automatic car wash? All of a sudden, this $3 million car wash is worth 6 or 10 or 20, right? Because now all I have to do is go over to Costco and say, hey, guys, I'm willing to give everybody that just went through Costco's checkout line, I'm willing to give them $3 off a car wash. So instead of $30, it's $27. Instead of $20, it's $17. Whatever the heck it is. Doesn't matter. That was opportunity. That was inefficient, undervalued, and overlooked opportunities. Okay, so another one is relationship opportunities. A person who will change your life is usually 2 introductions away. Just 2 introductions. Are you willing to go find those people? So relationship opportunities. Who do you know? I mean, I have one friend that looked at my tires today. Yesterday, I was passing a car and my car has a lot of power and like the back wheel started to spin. I thought, wow, that's scary. Put my hand down there because it's really low to the ground. There's no tread on the back of these. I mean, the car has 4,000 miles on it. And I called the dealer and they're like, yeah, that's about how long they last. About 3,000. I'm like, every 3,000 miles, I got to pay $2,000 for new tires. Okay, welcome to BMW M5, I guess, right? I'm sure a friend of mine had his liner in his Ferrari fell. Like the liner, I don't know what it did. It fell somehow. So he takes it to the Ferrari dealership. They said, yeah, we can fix that. 6,300. I said, yeah, welcome to having a Ferrari. Okay, so relationship opportunities. How about time arbitrage? Where everyone wastes time, money is hiding. I'm going to say that again. Where everyone wastes time, money is hiding. Solve that problem, right? Time arbitrage. Where are people wasting time? And information asymmetry, right? So like learn something others ignore. It's an advantage. How many people know how to control the banking function in their lives? They don't. Financial structure opportunities, now that we're talking about it. Infinite banking. This is where the average person walks by gold every day because they think they have this need to save and invest, and all this money goes out for interest. All this money is sitting idle in prison, not moving. And infinite banking shows you a way to control the movement and leverage in your banking world, in your financial world. And people walk by it every day, or they get hung up and they think it's about the insurance contract. Oh my gosh. I've been doing this so long. It's like, it's not about the insurance contract. The insurance contract is necessary to do infinite banking. But you can have, once you understand infinite banking, you want to put as much money in these insurance policies as you can. I do. And I think I understand it pretty well. All right. So, I think that was number 5. Number 6, skill-based opportunities. Right? So every skill you master becomes another filter you see with. So like it could be in golf. You realize that, oh my gosh, this is something everybody struggles with. And I became a master at it. Now I can go show somebody else how to do it, or I can come up with a device that helps people train how to do it. Okay, so then fulfillment opportunities, your purpose. Your purpose is the ultimate multiplier because people will do so much to fulfill their purpose, right? All right, so I'm going to give you some truths. So a few just counterintuitive truths, things that don't seem like they should be true, but they are. The best opportunities feel uncomfortable. I mean, let's just be, have you ever like, a lot of you guys are married, but like, remember when you were single and you asked that like the person that you thought was just a little bit too pretty for you or too handsome for you, depending on man or woman, and it felt uncomfortable. But the best opportunities are when you feel uncomfortable, right? And if it looks obvious, it's probably gone. I don't have any correlation with being single to that one, but if it looks obvious, it's probably gone. If you think that's a great place for an apartment complex, in the science of soul, guess what? It's probably gone. Somebody's probably building an apartment complex there. Most opportunities appear when life feels messy. Let me say that again. When your life feels messy, that's when opportunities will come. And it doesn't mean don't do them. It means do them, because you're not just going to get handed stuff on a silver platter. And people don't lack opportunity, they lack awareness. There's opportunity everywhere. Also, that stillness and thinking and planning and writing it out, just being still and waiting for the right signs, that accelerates success. It does not stagnate it. What stagnates it is the noise, which gets you going in a different direction or feeling scarce or feeling afraid or feeling all of those things that make us not curious, to where we don't learn a new skill and we don't leverage other people's abilities and we don't see the opportunities and we think, man, there aren't these opportunities. All right. So I'm going to give you an exercise. I want you all to do this. Okay. The exercise is called the opportunity audit. Write down 10 opportunities you missed in the last year. Tony Robbins, when I would listen to Tony Robbins, he'd say, okay, pause the tape. That's how long ago it was. And, like write down 10 opportunities. I'm not going to tell you to do that. But once you write down those 10 opportunities, I want you to ask yourself 4 questions. What patterns did you see? What pattern did you see in those 10? What fear stopped you from you missed these 10 opportunities? And they could be big opportunities, little opportunities, doesn't matter. What belief in you blinded you? And what would you do differently if you had seen it clearly, that opportunity? I'm just telling you, this single exercise can change the next decade for you. If you'll do this and really do it, it can change your next decade. All right, so here, wrapping it up at 27 minutes, okay? You don't need more opportunities, you need new eyes. And I'm 60, man. I could use some new eyes. I really could. I would love to be able to see when I was 20. Okay, but you need new eyes, and I don't mean it like a vision that way, okay? You can train your mind to see money whether others see cost. Perfect example. When I get my premium notices, I don't see it as a premium. I see it as an opportunity. I get to go put money in my banking system and get it in motion. Other people say, hey, why does this cost so much? And so that's number 1. Number 2 is you can train to see relationships where others see strangers. I introduced myself to Mark Davis, the guy that owns the Raiders, when I went to the Indianapolis Colts Raiders game in the tunnel. I introduced myself. Does he know who I am? No. But so what? He's a stranger. Now at least we've shaken hands. I feel like we're almost friends. You can train to see freedom where others see captivity. And like if you had a plan, I'm going to buy this car wash, I'm going to build it up, and then I'm going to have somebody else run it. Then I'm going to do it again. Then I'm going to do it. You see opportunity and you see freedom from that because you're going to get 10 of them. Then you're going to have a general manager and all this. And everybody goes, well, you're going to have to work really hard. That sounds, like you can also train your eyes to see solutions where other people see chaos, where other people think that's too difficult. My friends that run this golf store, they have so much stuff in this golf store. And if you walked in there, you might think it's chaos. But they see solutions and they know how to run this business. So opportunity is not luck. It's not gifted. It's not reserved for the talented. Opportunity belongs to the person who is aware enough to see it. Your mind is the most valuable piece of real estate that you will ever own. train it well, and your future will take care of itself. That's it. 30 minutes, um, that about opportunities. Train your mind to see opportunities. Just be curious and think of things differently than everyone else. Just have the courage to do that and do that exercise. What are the 10 things that you overlooked last year that you missed? I could feel this bored with things I missed last year. So it's okay. 2026 is coming. I'm going to get you ready for 2026. It's going to be the best year of your life. I promise you, if you do the things that I'm going to roll out into the podcast and these meetings, you will have the best year of your life in 2026. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for taking the time. Godspeed. See you next week.